So now, today we are going to see how we can go for case management in Pega. To efficiency, if you go to the Case Explorer, you can see all the existing case present in your application. Then you can see you can import multiple cases. You can replace the case as well. Okay, and if you want to have case a new case, you need to add a new case. You need to give the type of the case. So it is just giving as sample so that we can see about what are the different things present into the category features of case. And in the if you can see the advanced category, you can see where exactly you are going to create the case. Okay, so here if you see it's actually like it's creating onto the work type, and then there actually the pattern inheritance is the same, and which tool set is going to be created. Okay, and you can click the submit, and after some time you can see the case will be shown here. Now it is created. You can see currently in the previous versions this was not in this way. So you will have two things. One is actually called as stages, and then another thing is called as specification. So there are two tabs only into that, but recently it was changed, and actually you can add fields into the data model, and then what actually I've told about the life cycle. So here actually mainly you add stages and all other stuff here. Okay, so here actually you can see we are going to add some sample stages into that. So actually just typing sample one. Okay, just click onto the coordinate. So if you want to add multiple steps, right? Sample two, sample three. Okay, so just actually like three stages I just created onto that. Okay, so now actually the first thing which I told about that it has a life cycle. It will start and an end. Okay, so and then how the transition will be happen from one stage to another, right? So there you can see in the general you can have three options: automatically move to the next stage, wait for the user action, and resolve the case. So if it is actually wait for user action, you can see there is no connection between that two. Okay, at least in this scenario, it will wait for user. So if I change it to move to the next stage, and here also I move it to automatically move to the next stage. Okay, and I saved after that. So you can see that it must now actually like the shape is changed. So from this actually by looking on the shape, you can get to know actually like what is the transition onto that. Okay, so here it like change to again move to the next stage. Okay, so that is the shape which also changed. Okay, yeah, you can, actually the best practice says you should go for plus minus 5 plus minus 2. So maximum 7, minimum 3. Yeah, you can do that. You can go the delete. It's like you can see the delete option there. You can delete the stages from there. So actually, say actually this one I want to make that it will resolve the case. Yeah, no, actually the case will be like your work is done. So that you want that when it will reach to this stage, like it means that your work is completed. So that actually you are setting the status as resolve completed. Okay. So you can see there is a red line comes into that. Okay. And now actually you want actually like a alternate stage. Okay. So in creation of alternate stage, you need to go to the action tab. You can see the configure alternate stage. So alternate stage will look into the orange color. So actually they say cancel. Okay. So that actually you can see that will be look into the orange color. So now actually I move to the so you see it looks into the orange color so that you can differentiate between your normal stage and alternate stage. Okay. So there actually, apart from some other action, you can see some other like local process, local action. You can add it to the particular stage. Okay. And if you want to do like if you for particular scenario, you want to skip the complete stage. The complete stage you want to skip, so you can write some conditions to skip that stage. Okay. And actually, like you can set some validations also when you are entering that state, that some information which is required to enter that state is there or not. So you can set the validation for the during before entering of the stage, so that you can specify onto that. Okay. Now this is all about your stages. Okay. So now we are going to create some processes into it. Okay. So if you need to click onto the add processes, okay. So you can just give the name. Click onto the so yeah, now see with figure 7.2 it was changed. Okay, there actually you can get see collect information, approve or reject, or from the from save more you can add some smart saves. Okay, you can use existing state processes from here. So existing processes you can add it directly, or you want to do some specific user actions. So there is no currently processes are there. So you want to do any user actions. You can see like all the system defines user action you want to do. So if you see, you can do all the this stuff here. So you want to change the stage, you want to resolve the case, you want to edit the details, you want to create the task. Okay, you want to adjust the goal and deadline. So all the things you can add that there. So these are actually part of. So actually, like if you say, actually here we are going to add that resolve the case there. Okay, I'll show you that. Okay, and then there are a lot of utilities. So that actually called as smart save. That actually we are going to discuss onto that later to the close discussion. So say attach a contain. You want to change the stage, create a case, create a PDF. Okay, you want to save the case. So these are actually called as smart saves. So that you can use directly as a utility in a flow. Okay. So currently for our purpose, we are going to create a normal. Uh, we are going to create with the collect information. Okay, that's the normal scenario. Actually, like if you want to do that, normally we go with the collect information normal. So that is the normal process flow. Okay. Okay. So here you can give the name there, what you want to add there. Okay. So if we say like can say process sample one, process one. Okay. So that actually it's added a one more. So actually you want to add one more process. So you can go there. You can see two options. You want to add a parallel process or you want to normal process. So just I'm adding a normal process below that. So if you see within that sample one one. Okay. So this is sample one one, and actually here also I can go for sample process sample one process one. So this is actually one. This is your complete flow. You can have multiple steps here. Okay. Basically, just the name. It's just nothing actually. It's just about the name. I'm just giving any name to create that. Sorry. No, it is. This is the step. This is the complete flow. I can add multiple steps into that. So if you say just want to do that, I want to create a PDF here. So if I again go, okay, I use a create a PDF. Okay. So in the create PDF, it will ask you some more details, basic details onto that. So if you see, it's like it will going to add a one more step, and actually symbol actually is a PDF. Okay. So it has a two-stage process now. Okay. So here actually it's created only one. So actually now actually want to create a parallel process with that. Okay, so actually if you see, this is actually the symbol came as parallel. Okay, and there actually I'm just giving the sample parallel. Okay. And actually in this I give a parallel. Just for any name I can uh, there is naming convention need to be followed when you are giving. For training actually I am just giving the any name into that. Okay. So in this way actually you can see there are I created parallel flow, multiple flows, okay, and this one here actually just for the name point I'm creating a collect information, or actually I can go for uh, yeah, I just want to delete that. Actually I did it approve and reject here. Okay. So in this flow, actually you want to approve or reject that thing. And in the third case, I'm just, so that's the name. So we say approval. Okay. So this is actually like previous state. Actually that will be either approved or rejected. And if you can see there is actually one rejection. Alternate state is also created with that. Okay. And here, what I'm going to do is actually I'm creating a user action for resolve the case. Okay. So actually what I'm doing, resolve the case. So you say this is going to resolve the case. So directly like if you have used the multiple states, how you use the multiple process and everything, you can see that. Okay. So this is actually called about which we have discussed, like what the transition happened. Okay. Yeah, there is one thing actually go here, okay, process. So there is always open, and it's like this is actually nothing about a flow. Okay. So now I feel like if you can go and discuss about the settings. Just before that, see, I feel like if it's, this is like I want to create a one more sub case here. I want to invoke like some processing need to be done in a separate case, right? So that if I can create a child case. Okay. So how to create a child case? So we can say add a child case. Okay. So here if you can say you can add a child case. Okay. Simple child. Okay. So that is like in the same way you can create that. So you can use an existing case or you can use some, you create a new case as a child as well. So now we'll go, an example child is also there. We can go to the life cycle of him and we can see that we do things with that. So if you go to the sample, okay, so this is okay. So that action there, actually if you have in a multiple stage and you want to change one stage to another stage, so that you can use that action, py change stage. Okay. So that if you want to add more actions, you can click onto that action and you can see a lot of other actions also already there. So you want to add actually add of some task. So you want to add that. Yeah. So if you see, you just want to add on. Okay. So it will just what's exactly happening? Okay. just if you are just adding another one, add to cover. Okay. Why it's behaving little different? Sorry. Okay. No, that actually call about information. Actually, what about that action is there? So that information is coming onto that. Okay. Okay. Yes, that's right. But it's not going right. That's actually also. I just want to add. So if I did add covered first, see now it's not going right. I need actually the proper name. Okay, fine. What are you going to do? Add to cover. Okay. So sometime inter actually it works in that scenario. Okay. Add to cover. Actually, so that actually I've added and then I saved it. So you can see that will be shown as three now. Three actions are there. And then attachment, how much attachment you want to add that you can see. Calculation we will see later. Okay. Then actually if you say data propagation. So what do you mean by data propagation? So normally if there is no child case, this option will be not there. This is the option which will come when you want to move some data from your parent to child case. Okay. Then this option will be there. So if you click onto that, actually like it will say that which all property you want to transform from your parent to child case. Okay. So actually say you have one sample child. So which all property you want to transform from your parent to child. So that actually we call as data propagation. Okay. Then actually like if you want to invoke your case from email itself, like if you receive an email based on the email value, it will invoke the case directly. So then that scenario we use the email instantiation. Okay. Then the goal and deadline. So what do you mean by goal and deadline? So this is actually part of SLA rule. Okay, so just for information wise, I'm just telling you. So if you say if like any task, actually like if you are defining, right? So that task should have actually some deadline when you can finish it, right? How much time it should take. So we say that like okay, optimum time you can say that is the goal time. So this is the okay. This is the time which should take, and if there is an exception, it can go to the maximum time. So that it will be called as deadline. Okay. So the goal is your optimum time to complete your work. Deadline is your maximum time to complete the work. And there is one more thing comes up, past deadline. Once it was not done in the deadline also, then it was called as past deadline. And that can be recurring. Okay, that can be recurred multiple times. So for each of the goal and deadline, you want to like initiate some action. So you want to notify the assignee that like your task is not completed. Please take some urgency to complete that. You want to notify his manager. You want to transfer it to someone else. So that all things we can do by the SLAs. So that we're going to discuss when we'll teach about the SLAs. Okay. So currently, if you can see, there are 2 or 3 days. We have just mentioned onto that. Okay. So just save that. So that's actually all about the goal and deadline. And the integration is actually like if you want to integrate your case to some other application, so that all the integration you can mention it here. Okay. Then another thing comes up locking. Okay. So what do you mean by locking? Okay. So locking actually you can see um, before Pega 7 there is actually one locking, default locking. As soon as you open the work object, okay, it will be locked. No one else can work onto it. Okay. So that was actually like a default locking. But with after Pega 7, they have introduced one concept that is called as optimistic locking. Okay. So what is the difference between optimistic locking and default locking is that in the case of optimistic locking, it's actually like acquire the lock when you are submit the work. It's not just when you are opening the work. So it's like say multiple people has opened the work object, okay, but when the person who is going to click on the submit button, he will get the access onto that. Okay, so in this scenario, the concurrency gets increased. Okay? And in the default timeout period is 30 minutes. So there is actually logic behind also that, like why actually like it was given some 30 minutes itself, right? So like in the 30 minutes, he can able to complete the work object, right? Or by mistake, actually we say if the log time is have given a longer time, and actually by mistake actually he went home, actually the work object is open, so the work object is logged, so no one can else pick the work. It will be logged by him, right? So actually, I can say if I log out, the log will be released. If I did not log out, I just close the browser, then the log will be remain with my name. So actually, that's why I say that. So it's like a minimum time was given, so that after that the log will be released automatically, and after that time, someone can work on it. Okay, so that's the default time onto the locking we provide that. Okay. Hierarchy just I told like child case and parent case we can give that. So that based on that we can create a dependency. Okay, if actually many child case are getting completed, then the parent case will be closed. So that will be part of your dependency. Okay, so in the locking also we have an option when we are working on child case, parent case should be locked or not. So if you can see on the sample child, okay, that option will be the setting. If you go to the locking of the same child one, you can see an option there. Yeah. If you go to the locking, you can see actually like do not lock the parent case when the child case is open. So that actually if you want that need to be worked separately from the parent case. So if I click onto that and actually save that, so in this means that when I'm working on the child case, my parent case will be not locked. So anyone else can work onto the parent case as well. So there is no dependency will come into that. Yeah. Normally it's like default, it will be locked. Okay. And if you are clicking that option, it means that the log case will be not logged. Okay. If you want to use the notification, okay, then actually if you go for the notification, like email communication or anything you want to go for that, then notification will be used. Next thing is your parties. Okay, so parties are actually who are involved in your case. So that are called as parties, work parties. So they mainly used in the routing. You want to route them to work onto that, or you want to notify them. Then it will like the parties are getting used by. So mainly like in your case, there are three work parties getting involved. Like who is actually like uh, getting engaged? Like that's the customer, like who actually like request that, so he will be the customer of that, and someone is going to handle that case, so he will be the owner of the case, and there are some third parties are there who are interested on the case, right? So they are actually be called as interested parties, like managers or lawyer, adjusters, surveyors. So they will become actually into the third parties. Okay, so they are actually also called as work parties. Okay, and then finally, just about duplicate. So there is actually mechanism in the case. So if you see actually an example, in a candidate, we are going for an interview, and you got for the same candidate resume from 5 different agencies. So that created 5 cases for you. For the same candidate. So now actually you want to actually only process one. So the fourth of them you want to reject that. You want to mark them resolve duplicated. So in that scenario, we can use the trash duplicates. Okay. So there are actually other scenario where it might scenario that same information you are coming again. So it's avoid to create one more scenario for that. So that you can use the track duplicate onto that. And the final is your validation. So validation has two things. When you are trying to create a new case, okay. So like in during the add, you want to validate something before adding the case. So some proper information is there or not. So that actually you can go for on add validation. And then when you are trying to save the work object, if something gets actually like problem or not. So that also we can go for validation. Okay. So if you click onto that, you can see there are two options: when the case is created and when a case is saved. So in that, the name is called as on add, and this one is called as default. Sorry, validate. Okay. So in this, actually, the name will come as validate, and the name to configure, it will going to create a on add validate rule, and here it will create a validate rule. So that's actually all about different processes into it. And the final thing, if you can see, uh, in case of actually in the child, only we'll see this one, instantiation. Okay. So what do you mean by instantiation? So if you say you have it for your child case. So when you want to start the child case, when you want to invoke the child case, yeah, something actually like if you say when your case is started, you want to invoke the child case as well. So if you say that you can go for first automatic or manual, and then some condition, based on some condition you want to start your this. So in the automatic, actually when your parent started, you want to start the child case as well on that time. So that you can mention into instantiation tab. So if you can see the name was be coming as validate, and if in case of your create, the name is coming as on add. Okay. And okay, so in case of instantiation, if you click onto the instantiation, that will come, actually you can instantiate automatic or manual. In case of automatic, when actually you want, when the parent case is started, you want to invoke the your child case, or based on some condition you want to invoke your child case. So that two things will come into that. So you can see the instantiation, you have two options, automatically by system and manual. So if you click automatic, you can see when the parent case start, or you can go for any condition. You can provide multiple conditions. So if any one of the condition match, or any actually all the condition matched. So based on that, you can invoke the child case. So there is a typical example you can see from this one. See, you have your candidate case, same thing. Okay, and for candidate, there is a background case, background verification as a child case. So as soon as you receive the resume, you want to invoke the child case, background verification for it. Or like see, there is actually pass percentage. Actually, like for the resume, there are 50 to 70% got rejected, 30% got selected. Right? Most of the time it happens. Right? So the selections criteria actually works in that way. So you don't want to actually waste time to background verification for that 70%. So once actually your resume is selected, your interview is selected, then you want to invoke the background verification. So based on that condition, you can add the condition. So the work status is interview selected, you want to invoke the child case. So that actually you can do by in that way. So that actually it will done the way. Okay, so that actually we mean by instantiation and other stuff into that. Okay, so that actually we are going to cover all the cases actually we have covered into. Okay, so that's actually like more information about the case management. So we're going to create one case and we'll see that in the real time demo. We'll create on to much further onto that.